Have you ever wondered what it feels like when the ground beneath your feet suddenly starts to wiggle and shake? It's a pretty wild thought, right? Well, guess what? In one part of the world, this has been happening a lot lately. We're talking about more than 600 small earthquakes all in a very short time. Today we're going on an adventure deep inside our planet to find out exactly why the ground is shaking so much. Don't worry, we'll explain it all in a super simple way. So, grab your explorer's hat and let's dig in. Imagine our planet, Earth, isn't just one solid ball. It's more like a giant puzzle made of huge pieces. We call these puzzle pieces tectonic plates. They're massive slabs of rock that are always, and I mean always, on the move. They float on a layer of hot, gooey rock called the mantle. Think of it like crackers floating on a thick soup. These plates move incredibly slowly, usually about the same speed your fingernails grow. But even though they're slow, they have a lot of power. Now, what happens when these giant puzzle pieces bump into each other? They don't just say, "Excuse me," and pass by. Sometimes they get stuck. They push and push against each other, building up a huge amount of energy, like when you stretch a rubber band as far as it can go. All that pressure builds and then snap, the rubber band breaks. When the rocks finally slip and break free, all that stored up energy is released in the form of waves. These are seismic waves, and when they travel through the ground and reach the surface, we feel it as an earthquake. So, back to our 600 recent quakes. What's going on there? This is what scientists call an earthquake swarm. It's not one big, giant quake, but a whole bunch of smaller ones happening close together in the same area. Imagine a big log jam in a river. You don't just see one log move, you see lots of smaller logs shifting and bumping around as the pressure builds and releases. An earthquake swarm is kind of like that. It's a series of pops and cracks instead of one giant break. This particular region is a really interesting spot. It's a place where two of those giant tectonic plates are slowly pulling apart from each other. As they pull apart, magma, which is super hot molten rock from deep within the earth, tries to push its way up to the surface. Think about what happens when you pull apart a candy bar with a gooey caramel center. The caramel stretches and oozes out. As this magma moves upward, it breaks the rock in its path, causing these small, shaky earthquakes. Each little crack and shift creates a tiny tremor, and when you have hundreds of them, you get an earthquake swarm. You might be thinking, wow, 600 earthquakes. That sounds super scary. And it's true, feeling the ground shake can be unsettling. But here's the good news. Most of the earthquakes in this swarm have been really, really small. So small that most people probably didn't even feel them. Scientists have special tools called seismographs that are like super-sensitive ears for the Earth. They can detect even the tiniest wiggles that we would never notice. It's thanks to these tools that we even know 600 quakes happened. Why are scientists so interested in these little swarms? Well, they're like clues from a detective story written by the Earth itself. By studying these small quakes, where they happen, how deep they are, and how they move, scientists can create a 3D map of what's happening underground. They can see the pathways the magma is taking as it tries to find a way to the surface. It helps them understand the plumbing system of a volcano even before it erupts. It is like getting a sneak peek behind the scenes of one of nature's most powerful shows. Now, does this mean a giant volcano is about to erupt? Not necessarily. Sometimes the magma moves around underground for a while and then just cools down and stops. It's like a car that runs out of gas before it reaches its destination. The earthquake swarm is a sign that the system is active, that something is happening down there. Scientists are watching it very, very closely. They have all sorts of amazing instruments to monitor the situation. They measure changes in the ground shape, check for gases being released, and of course keep a close eye on all those little earthquakes. This is how they can give people warnings if it looks like an eruption might be more likely. It's a great reminder of how alive our planet is. We live on the very thin, cool crust of a very hot and active world. Things are constantly shifting, moving, and changing right under our feet. Most of the time we don't notice it, but events like this earthquake swarm pull back the curtain and show us the incredible forces at work. It's not something to be afraid of, but something to be curious about. It's a chance to learn more about our amazing home, planet Earth. Every little rumble and shake tells a part of its story. So the next time you hear about earthquakes, remember our giant puzzle pieces. They're constantly moving, sometimes getting stuck, and sometimes pulling apart. And sometimes, like with our 600 quakes, it's the movement of hot magma that's making the ground jiggle. It's all part of living on a dynamic and exciting planet. Thanks so much for joining me on this underground adventure today. I hope you learned something new and had some fun. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more amazing science with us, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next expedition. Stay curious and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.